Hi friends, welcome to Sunny Side Up Yoga with Amy. I'm Amy. Today we are going to make our hamstrings happy. So we're going to start to ease into some nice hamstring stretches. We'll take it from seated to standing and back to seated again. So if you want a block, if you have one, or a chair handy, go ahead and grab those things and then meet me in a seated position. We are going to start with our sits bones rooted, knees bent, and then open your heels to the outer edges of your mat. We're going to inhale to sit up nice and tall and then hinge forward at the hips. And then we're going to release the hands down toward our ankles or maybe even the feet. And once you're settled there, then go ahead, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and round into this nice stretch for your low back. From here, go ahead and round yourself up. And we're going to straighten out our legs. So we're not going to be pushing or yanking on our hamstrings today, but we're going to start with some heat and strength and think ease with your hamstrings today. Go ahead and round yourself back. Arms along your side, slide your feet in toward your sits bones, feet hip distance apart. We're going to inhale, press into the feet and lift into bridge. And exhale, roll it back down. One more time, just to start to turn on the back side of the body here. Inhale, peeling up. And exhale, roll it back down. Bring your knees right into your heart center. Hold on behind your thighs and kick your heels up toward the ceiling. So here, you want to make sure your low back is closed down to the ground and you're just gently extending through the legs. Don't worry about pulling on those legs to bring them closer to your nose. Point and flex your toes a few times. Roll the ankles. And point the toes. You're going to lift head, neck, and shoulder blades up off the floor, or maybe you're not. That's just an option. And then you're going to drop that left leg away from you and walk your hands up the right leg. And again, we're not pushing or pulling. We're actually using a lot of ab strength here to hold the legs extended. And then we'll switch. Just drawing gently, not a pull here. And then let's switch that about 8 times. So we're going to switch, switch, switch. Good. Go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bend the knees, bring the fingers into the knee creases, and then we're going to meet in a standing position. So you can rock up or however you'd like, meet me at the top corner of your mat. We are going to flow through a sun salutation to build a little bit of heat and meet in a downward facing dog. So inhale, standing up nice and tall, pressing through the heels, dive forward. Release the crown of the head here, bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, up, half lift. Exhale, sink all the way back down, bend the knees a lot, root the palms, step or hop back to find a high plank here. From your knees or your toes, bend the elbows, take a chaturanga down to the ground, release the thighs, loop the shoulders back, cobra. And from here, go back to all fours or press straight away into a downward facing dog. Start to walk that down dog out. So bending one knee at a time. And again, think ease, not pushing. Just easing one heel at a time toward the ground. And then press both heels gently toward the ground. They don't have to touch. And from here, we're going to sweep our right leg up behind us. Flex the foot. Please don't sweep it too high. Just flex the foot and push through the heel. So you're just creating some heat and length here. From here, we're going to bring the knee through and plant the foot between the thumbs. Inhale up, high lunge. Good. From here, we're going to hinge into a warrior 3. So you're going to start to shift the weight onto that front leg, pick up the back leg, and find that flexed foot again. Warrior 3. Okay, inhale, dropping that foot under the hip, dive forward, half lift, sink it down, step or hop back, find your plank, chaturanga, cobra to downward facing. Right foot again comes up with a flex in it. We're going to take a staggered down dog. So you're going to sweep your leg over to the side, it's going to land outside your mat. And then it probably will feel good to take some little hip circles. Keeping the tailbone lifted nice and high. And we'll sweep that leg back up, flex the foot. It doesn't have to go high. And then we're going to draw through again. Plant the foot. Inhale up, high lunge. Find your way back to a warrior three. Arms are going to come forward this time, straightening on that standing leg. Now we're going to drop our palms somewhere in front of us. Bend that knee as much as you need to. We're going to come into a standing split. So now you'll point the toes and now kick that leg up and find a little more range of motion. So you're pushing through the fingertips, lifting that back leg. Lots of strength and stretch happening. And then go ahead and lower that leg right down, let it fall under the hip again. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, sink all the way back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way back up. Stand tall, push through the heels. Find tall mountain posture. Okay, let's take that on the other side. Inhale, sweep up, push through the heels, lengthen the spine, dive forward. Relax the crown of the head here. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, sink it back and down. Step back, find your plank. Take your chaturanga. We're gonna meet in that three-legged dog. This time, raise your left leg up toward the sky. Flex the foot, push through both heels. Draw that knee through and plant between the thumbs. Inhale up, high lunge here. And we're gonna hinge forward, shifting weight onto that front leg, coming up into a warrior three. And again, flexing the foot behind us, squaring the hips to the ground, finding length in our body. Beautiful. Release that foot down to the ground. Sun salutation, flow all the way through, meet back in that three-legged dog. Left leg comes back up to the sky, flex the foot. We'll rainbow it over. It's going to fall outside your mat for a staggered leg down dog. So gently pressing ribs toward the thighs, encouraging heels toward the ground, and then maybe adding those little hip circles. And you'll feel that stretch through that left inner hamstring. Let's take that leg with a flex foot back up behind us, and we're going to draw it through, plant it. And this time we're going to come up again into a warrior three. So you're going to hinge forward, arms reaching, and we're going to find that standing split. Point the back toes, reach the fingers down for the sky, and kick that back leg up. Lots happening in that standing leg here. Strengthen, stretch. And we'll let that leg fall back down under the hip. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, sink all the way back down, and then reverse swan dive. Take an inhale all the way up, nice and tall. Meet me back in a forward fold, dive forward. Your feet here are as wide as your hips. We're gonna bend into the left knee and drop the left elbow and shoulder toward that knee and take a twist, reaching up. Good, think of lifting that right hip flexor up and finding length in that right leg. We'll release that back down and we'll take that the other way. So bending the right knee, dropping the right shoulder into it, and then twisting open. Finding lots of length in that left standing leg, lifting through the hip crease. And we'll lower that back down. Tone the belly. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to sink. And inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up, nice and tall. Beautiful. We're going to take a pyramid pose. So you're going to want to step back about 2 or 3 feet. That back foot is kind of like it is in a warrior one, where it's on a little bit of an angle. Front toes are facing forward. Now you can bend that front knee as much as you need to, depending on your flexibility in your hamstrings right now. Fingers are going to come into the hip creases. Inhale to lift and lengthen, and then exhale to hinge forward. Press both hip flexors or hip points back. You can stay right here, or you could release your hands down to your shin, or if you have a block and you want to release to the block. And then go ahead, once you're hinged as far as you can, then you can go ahead and release the head and neck. Press both hip creases equidistance back and breathe into the back side of your right leg. Good. Put a little bend in that front knee. Inhale, draw yourself back up to standing and find mountain. We'll go to the other side. Step back right leg. Foot's on a little bit of an angle. Fingers to the hip creases, just as a reminder to keep those squared. And then we're gonna hinge forward at the hips. Maybe you're gonna stay there. Maybe you're gonna release down. Wherever you are, breathe into the hamstring on that left leg. Be patient with your legs. You can't just pull, that's when we snap, right? Breathe and ease. Good, one more breath here. Bend that front knee. Inhale, come all the way back up and step to the top of your mat. We're gonna meet in a seated position. So legs are extended out in front of you. If your hamstrings are really tight, maybe you're sitting on a rolled up or folded up blanket. We're gonna start by bringing our hands behind us for some support. You're gonna inhale and sit really tall. Just feel the sits bones root evenly to your mat. And then you're just gonna gently peek over your toes. So bend your knees as much as you need to. We're keeping a long spine here, and you're using your hands behind you to kind of press you forward. One more nice deep breath right here. And we'll sit tall. Bend your right knee in, kind of like you're in a seated tree pose. And we're gonna take a single leg forward fold here. If you like the hands supporting you on the floor, keep them there. If you want to, you can extend and then reach with an exhale. Maybe your hands are reaching to your shin, maybe to your ankle, or maybe around your foot. Maybe you need to use a belt or a strap to help you into this pose. Good, be easy. Breathe into that hamstring. And practice your sinking breath. So inhale, sending oxygen to the tissues that are trying to get your attention. And exhale, sink. Allow your body to ease into this pose. One more breath here, and we'll sit up nice and tall. And then we're gonna take that right leg and we're gonna cross it over the left thigh. And let's go into a little twist here. So we're going to wrap that left elbow around the right knee and open up to the right side, planting that right hand behind you, pushing it into the mat to help you sit taller. You're hugging that right thigh in as close as you can to your chest. Careful you're not collapsing into the chest. And we'll release back to center. Good, let's do that on the other side. Bend that left leg in. Hands can be down for support, or you can exhale and reach forward. Good, another breath here. And we'll sit nice and tall again. And we'll take that left foot and plant it outside the right thigh. And we're gonna again take that elbow, sweep it across. Left hand comes behind. Hug that thigh in as close as you can. We'll release. Good, straighten both legs out. Supported with hands behind your hip bones, or take a nice hinge this way, reaching down. And just ease yourself into this seated forward fold. Drop the head and round yourself up. Good, and we're gonna go into a wide seated straddle here. So this, opening the legs up, and we're gonna inhale. We'll take a little side bend, whatever direction calls you first. Using that elbow maybe on the inside of the thigh to press back and open. And then we're going to take that on to the other side. Toes and knees facing up toward the sky. Good, coming all the way back up. Lift those knees, bring them back to the center. Extend for one more seated forward fold. Reach forward. And we'll round up from here. And you can fold the legs in if that feels good. Good, it's so important to keep our hamstrings happy. That usually keeps our low back happy as well. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to the page yet, it's free. So if you don't mind hitting subscribe, and then there's a little bell next to it. And if you click on that, then you'll receive notifications when I schedule new videos. Thanks for joining me.